Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. July 18th. Grateful for what I have. During this process of learning more humility, the most profound result of all was the change in our attitude toward God. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 75. Today, my prayers consist mostly of saying thank you to my higher power for my sobriety and for the wonder of God's abundance. But I need to ask also for help and the power to carry out His will for me. I no longer need God each minute to rescue me from the situations I get myself into by not doing His will. Now my gratitude seems to be directly linked to humility. As long as I have the humility to be grateful for what I have, God continues to provide for me. Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, July 18th. We often come to Al-Anon with the philosophy that if something works, it will work even better and faster if we try harder. But Al-Anon involves a long-term process of growth and change. Our efforts to speed up this process are more likely to interfere with it, leaving us frustrated and depressed. In Al-Anon, we learn that easy does it. The work often gets done when we stop pushing. When I first came to Al-Anon, I heard that although we learn to entrust our lives and our future to a higher power greater than ourselves, we must do our part as well. With my usual fervor, I threw myself into doing footwork. I made at least 10 Al-Anon calls every day and began a frantic effort to practice all 12 steps at once. No wonder I was soon overwhelmed and exhausted. Today I know that I can plant a seed in fertile soil, but I don't help the plant to grow by tugging at the seed in hope that it will sprout. I have to let the process unfold at its own pace. Today's reminder: I take my commitment to recovery seriously, but I can't expect to recover overnight. When I approach my life with an easy-does-it attitude, I treat myself and the world around me gently and lovingly. There is a quote from One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, and it reads, "When we try to absorb too much too quickly in Al-Anon, we may be discouraged. We would be wise to take it slowly, concentrating on one idea at a time." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, July 18th. The Gift of Desperation. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until, in desperation, we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous, basic text, page 13. When we think of being desperate, we envision an undesirable state, a poor, bedraggled soul frantically clawing at something sorely needed, a desperate look in the eyes. We think of hunted animals, hungry children, and of ourselves before we found NA. Yet it was the desperation we felt before coming to NA that compelled us to accept the first step. We were fresh out of ideas and so became open to new ones. Our insanity had finally risen higher than our wall of denial, forcing us to get honest about our disease. Our best efforts at control had only worn us out. Hence, we became willing to surrender. We had received the gift of desperation, and as a result, were able to accept the spiritual principles that make it possible for us to recover. Desperation is what finally drives many of us to ask for help. Once we've reached this state, we can turn around and start anew. Just as the desperate hunted animal seeks a safe haven, so do we in Narcotics Anonymous. Just for today, the gift of desperation has helped me become honest, open-minded, and willing. I am grateful for this gift because it has made my recovery possible. Today, Emotions Anonymous, July 18th. Reflection for today. There was a time when I had innumerable dreadful anxiety attacks. They left me fearful of many things and full of panic. There were times when I could not leave my home because of them. For the most part, they have gone away since I started working the program. Occasionally, one will appear for no apparent reason, even when I am working the program to the utmost, and for a moment the panic comes once again. I also get angry because I feel I no longer should have these attacks. If I stop then and there and say to myself, I accept that I am having an anxiety attack and I surrender it to my higher power, it will usually go away, not instantaneously, but soon. Meditation for today. May I always remember that acceptance and surrender are effective tools for handling anxiety attacks. Today I will remember, don't panic, accept. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. July 18th. Stored trauma. Clinical research strongly suggests that childhood trauma or neglect are stored in the tissue of the children. The emotional or physical trauma does not go away without any effort to address the original cause. BRB, page 17. It is in your bones, they might have said. There's something the matter with the whole family. These statements only beg the question that often gets overlooked. Why? Though the trauma of our forefathers and foremothers is stored in us, then so too must be the restorative part of the body. In fact, when we work the steps, reparent ourselves, attend meetings, and join with a fellow traveler, we are using some of the most powerful tools now to restore our bodies back to a balanced, natural condition. This is not easy and often takes considerable effort and persistence, and may even include an occasional or even a frequent ACA relapse. However, there is no easier, softer way. The process of recovery involves real work and determination that pays dividends beyond our expectations. If we are willing to stay on this recovery journey, if we trust the steps and promises, our bodies can release the stored trauma, which brings us true relief. The miracle of recovery is the destination, and we can get there. The affirmation reads, on this day, I will pay close attention to my body and the clues it gives me about my stored trauma. I reaffirm for myself that by using the steps and reparenting myself, the trauma energy can be released so that I may experience a wholeness I could not have possibly imagined. Please share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be, and to know that recovery is possible and you are not alone, one day at a time.